Hello, Jesse Good here. Today we're taking a look at the LEGO Movie 2 Emmett's Dream House and Rescue Rocket set with 706 pieces, 4 minifigures, or 3 if you don't count Unikitty, and it retails for $70 in the United States, and yes, we will be taking a look at both builds of this. So our first minifigure is Emmet, and he has an exclusive printed 1x2 tile that says Emmet and Lucy Forever as a printed piece. That's pretty adorable, come on. And the design of this is the one that's in a couple of other sets for that face print, where he has just a regular smirk at the front. Very useful for people who want to have regular smiling minifigures with different facial designs. And at the back, he does have an alternate face where he looks a little bit peeved off, or a lot peeved off. The Rex of the set is exclusive, with some new torso and legs that only appear in this set, some side arm printing, and you can see the legs are even dual molded and they look very good. The jetpack piece included, or jetpack build, is pretty elaborate with some zaps that make you propel through the air, or if you want to look at it that way. There's also his printed R right there, which is a piece that appears in the Rextreme Off-Roader. And I love the helmet piece, which I found out is actually a motorcycle piece that isn't new. And you can see it has printing at the top of this freaking helmet, which is really impressive. One thing I didn't notice is that his face print underneath is actually a new face print that only appears in this set so far. Huh, that's pretty cool. He has a smiling face that's open, you can see his tongue there, and then he looks pretty worried here. And they also give you the option, if you don't want to include the helmet, you could put on his hair. They give you an extra piece of his hair in here. Oh man, I love that hair piece, so I'm glad to get another one. And here's Lucy. She's the exact same as she was in Sistar Starship, another set we reviewed, so go check that out if you haven't. And the design of this has some dual molded legs, a new scarf piece, which I really like, and a dual molded new hair piece, which has goggles on top of it, which I love that as well. Very detailed, and there's just little things on the printing that really amaze me, like this sidearm printing, how the printing continues over the dual molding on the legs and makes it look like it's kind of sloped a little bit at the bottom. There's some printing at the feet right there that's super impressive. And she does have an alternate face where she's smiling up there, and then she looks a bit angry there, or actually really angry. Remove the scarf and quiver, and she has some back torso printing as well. So here is Warrior Kitty, which is a variant of Unikitty. We have a new face print that's very similar to the Comic-Con version, but it's not. I think that 1x3 plate at the top of the brick is the same design from Comic-Con. We do have some printing on the torso, which is really nice. You have a spiked tail, which is kind of cool. But there's one thing that annoys me about this, and that is the neck attachment is the old style. It's not, sturdier, because they made a whole new piece just for the Unikitty line, where you attach it to the bottom of the head, and then they use the stamp piece so that it's secure on there. This is a lot flimsier, and that was kind of a problem with the original LEGO Movie sets. I don't know why it's fixed in Unikitty Sweetest Friends, but not fixed here. That's really strange in my opinion. And LEGO also includes an alternate face where she's sleeping, which is pretty adorable, and instructions on how to build this version where it's a sleeping kitty design. Now, I guess that 1x3 plate was necessary for this version, but they could have just included it as a separate piece to have it secure for the other version of Warrior Kitty. And then there's Planty, which, Planty is a named character, right? Which just uses this flower piece attached to a fez cap in brown, and then a 2x2 circular jumper in dark tan. But that is it for the minifigures. Let's take a look at the build. So the first build is Emmett's Dream House, and let's take a look at the house itself. Once you remove all that junk, you could get a good look at it and just respect how dense this is. I mean, they fully closed each side. It's not one where the side is just open at the back so you could play in it. If you want to play in it, you could open it just down the middle. And now we have a look inside. You guys know I love these dollhouse type sets. One side has Lucy as a picture frame, and Emmet is on the other. Both of those are on stickers. There's a lamp build, which is actually kind of clever. I like how they use this column piece, and it gives it a more authentic design. There's also a light up here, and this really nice color used for the sofa. And if you go to the other side of the house, you have one of my favorite parts, which is the stickered TV with the classic color lines, which is really cool. You also have a table with some weird translucent red plates. and even a stove, which has a pan on it, another plate right here, and what looks to be a dishwasher, and an interesting 1x1 circular tile printed. There's also a window right here, which you could open from the inside. And the seats for there are only two, oddly enough, and this is the same problem with the rescue rocket because it just used the same piece. One of them doesn't have a back, so it's like a regular seat, and then one that just is open. Maybe that's for Unikitty if you want to have her sit at the table. Oh, and I forgot to say that this door right here opens from the inside as well. Unikitty has her own room, which you could even fit her standing up, which I was a little bit surprised at. That's kind of cool, so you don't always have to put her in the sleeping mode up here. She has a sticker of her photo frame right there. And no, there's not really a place for Emmet and Lucy to sleep on the other side like I expected. You can't even slide them into here, so I guess they just sleep on the couch of their own house. But there is a little window up here if you want to push it. Might as well look at the exterior now, where this backside has a bay view window design that looks pretty good. Also, each side has a window and a little ledge of plants, even with the front right there. And I like how they did the entryway of the house and using the classic Lego fence pieces. And this opposite side right here has a chimney. And also, it's cool how they did the roof as well, where they not only used these classic roof pieces, but they used some of the newer ones with these slants and such to give it a nice complete design. But now let's take a look at the side builds of this first build. There's a water tower build, which is pretty tall compared to the rest of the set, and some little builds as a workshop. So for the workshop build, there's an appropriately messy design to it. You know, it is a workshop. Workshops are usually messy. It's in Apocalypseburg, so of course it would look junky. There's a hammer right there. There's also this miniature rescue rocket build, which this is a cute interpretation of the build you'll see in a little bit. But I guess maybe Emmet sees this or is prototyping this just in case anything goes awry, and then he makes it into the big vehicle it is later in the movie. There's also a barricade which has miniature ball joints that you could adjust to each wall if you'd like. And at the end, there's this stickered part as well as a spring-loaded missile. So you can just shoot that. Ooh, that almost shot me in the face, but thankfully my phone blocked it. And finally, there's some side builds like this basket right here with two white studs. Also, two barrels that hold frogs inside of them. I remember when the frog piece was super rare and I couldn't get it in any of the sets around 2008, 2009, 2010. And then we have another missile that doesn't shoot, it's just kind of being held right here. And finally, what Lego calls an accordion, which I don't know about you, but this does not look like an accordion to me. And maybe I'm more critical because I've made thousands of custom Lego Weird Owls and I've made different accordions. But then again, they haven't used official, like, I guess, legal Lego builds. So this is probably the best you could get on an accordion without using any illegal techniques. And the color scheme on this really doesn't help to seal the deal that it's an accordion. But that's it for the first build. Now let's rebuild all this into the rescue rocket. So the alternate build is the rescue rocket, which the design of this is so ridiculous, but it fits, it works. It's not a bad build whatsoever. It's sturdy, and it has lots of little features to it. To get inside, we must remove this roof right here. And there's lots of nice details. At the front, they repurposed those 1x2 stickered pieces as control panels, and you have two seats. Oddly enough, only one uses a chair. Looks like a little space for Planty as well, but it'd probably get in the way of the seats. We have that Unikitty photo frame used on the wall. A little area to cook. They repurposed the door as more of a cabinet, and that's where they fit two more picture frames and the TV. I guess they didn't want to get distracted while piloting the rocket. And there's a countertop on the opposite side. At the front, I like the repurposing of the bay view window design as the cockpit of the ship. And they have these push missiles right here, which are triggered by pushing these Technic pins at the back. And they shoot out pretty far. You could also adjust these as well if you want to move them up or down. The side has windows and even a very nice engine design. I love how they use the pipe pieces and some of these, I think, wheelbases and such and barrels to make it a very elaborate design for those rocket boosters. And at the back, it continues with this main engine right here and also wings that look a little bit like the Milano. I'm not sure if that's exactly a reference, but it might as well be since You know, the Milano is Star-Lord's ship, and Star-Lord is played by Chris Pratt. And the design of them can actually be adjusted because they are on some miniature ball joints. And there's also these that are up top. Gives it a very Guardians of the Galaxy-esque look. And they kind of continue those really nice rocket booster / engine designs all the way at the opposite side of the ship. The roof itself has a chimney up top and also an adjustable tail. And inside there's actually some hidden features, but you got to take apart some of these bricks. And you could easily remove them just by doing that, since this section is really where the details are at. And they have 2 frogs. I wonder what the relevance of that is, or if it's just little details. And even some gold, it looks like, up top. Maybe Emmet's secret stash or something like that. But that is it for the Rescue Rocket build. Let's take a look at the packaging and then the final verdict. So here's the front of the box. Wait a minute, this is the back. Yeah, the back is another front of the box, but instead for the Rescue Rocket. As for the instructions, there's 2 separate instructions for both builds, and the second one actually has an ad for the Lego Movie video game where you can unlock this model in the game, and also an ad for some of the other sets. It's crazy, isn't it? But yeah, that's the only ad. So overall, I love this set. I adore it. This main build of the house is something that feels like it's from town, except it has more detail than those town houses because there's so much more parts inside. There's more of an interior than those Lego town houses, which I love. And then the design for the Rescue Rocket is surprisingly really good. Like, I wasn't expecting to like it. I was like, it's whatever, it's a side build, but I almost didn't want to take it apart, and I was like, shoot, I might have to buy 2 of these. So maybe one day I'll get this half off and build the Rescue Rocket as well, because that's a really fun build, and I was surprised that they even made a different interior than this one. Now, my only complaint would come with these side builds right here to the main house, but it's not anything that would take away from the set because these are just leftover parts from the Rescue Rocket, so they had to do something with them, and they made these junky builds, but that's literally what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be some wasteland areas that they use to defend and such. So I understand, and like I said, it doesn't detract from the set at all. And even the minifigure selection, I don't have any complaints here. I know it's not too many minifigures for $70, but it feels like the appropriate figures that would appear in this scene, at least based off of what I've seen from the movie trailer. So I'd rate this one an A+. Again, another A+ from the Lego Movie 2 line. This is a great, great set for any Lego fan for $70, so I urge you guys to save some money and pick this one up. So that's it for now. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys later. Peace out.